Seriously, more of them? I don't believe this. Welcome to Omega and Voidford's Skeleton Horse Spa and Beach Resort. We'll have to start charging them cocking rent at this rate. Greetings and bienvenue. 'Tis I, Omega, welcoming you back to, some might call it, a rather intermittent YouTube series on Omega's adventures in Minecraft on the Biffacraft server. So, what's been happening? A lot of stuff has been happening, and let me tell you, it's not been brilliant, but on the other hand, it could have been worse. And in life, isn't that the important thing? It could have been cocking worse. I keep telling myself that, and keep telling myself that, and hopefully one day I will believe it. But anyway, this is Minecraft, not Omega complains about life. So, welcome back, my loyal and obviously deranged viewers who are still subscribed to me. Yes. So, we're coming towards the end of Season 3 of Biffacraft, and I thought, as Arcadia is about as complete as it's going to be now, I think I'm going to go out on a limb here and say Arcadia is complete. I think we have built as much as we can build of it. So I thought I'd give everybody a little bit of a tour and show people around and let them see what's going on. Okay, I have done this before, but it's finished, so it's a better tour. Really, honestly, better tour. So, starting off on the ground level, because after all, why not start from the bottom and work your way up? Woo! Giant Omega! And yes, there's a lot to see up. So yeah, down here on the ground we have the mini iron farm, which still produces a decent amount of iron. So if the Titan ever stops working again, got that covered. And here is also a really good place to see the turfing, which Clemmy finished. And I am very grateful for him to have managed to get it done, and to such an incredible standard. We'll see more of that as we go across, because it is quite a good view from the trading station. So we shall just run around the coast here. More bloody skeleton horses. I thought they were meant to be a rare thing. Anyway, up we go. Across the bridge. Past the Aztec pyramid. Aztec? Possibly mine. Definitely an Omega pyramid. Doom, 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 doom. Things seem to be awfully quiet. Let me just check that. That's a bit better. Things just seemed a little bit awfully quiet there. I swear, everywhere I turn, cocking fucking skeleton horses. Anyway, here is the trading hall and villager breeder, and as you can see, I did some improving and added a second level to the setup. Just makes it a bit easier to get more villagers in, especially when looking for the new enchants. Plus it's quite a nice little place. Ooh, it's getting dark. Excellent. Always a good time when it gets dark. So there is the OHM turfing, which, as you know, is Void and Mai's cruising ship. And it looks absolutely incredible. Really did. Plummy did a lovely job on this one. If I just set myself into spectator mode. So a quick flyby off the turfing. And you can see all the hard work that Plummy put into it. Incredibly detailed build. Really love it a lot. The fact that we made it a cursed ship as well is just, you know, part and parcel, really. Ooh. It's getting a little foggy out here. So yeah, so there's the trading station all lit up quite nicely. And the iron farm. And this is actually quite a good time to have a look at the Aztec pyramid. As you can see, it's still in a ruinous state, buried in the landscape, which is always fun. And sitting directly under the central point of Arcadia, and over the end portal to the end. Which is always handy for getting stuff and things and repairing. People say that this is quite a head trip, the tunnel, especially when you're spinning. Kinda agree with them. There we go. Back up to floor level. See the pyramids all lit up quite nicely. I do love the pyramid. But of course, the main base of the area is Arcadia. And as you can see, finally finished it off. I've added energy planes to the spatial drive pylons at the end. So the 4 pylons are the spatial drive system that keeps the city afloat and moves it through space and warps it between locations. And of course, if you've got drive planes, you need a way of actually putting out the energy that they produce. And these spatial planes are how that happens. As you can see, the energy is pulsing through them. So all 4 planes keep the city afloat and keep the system running. I mean, to recap the backstory for those that haven't seen the last episode, in ancient times, before sentient species arose on the planet, on a far distant world, our life came just not long after the Big Bang. And this race were practically immortal from the get-go. Now, they decided to travel the universe and see if there are any other life forms. And to do that, they built the city ship Arcadia. And from that, they travelled the universe, and finding no highly developed life forms out there, they eventually looked towards improving themselves to the point where they ascended into the next plane of existence. But they left two caretakers to watch over the city ship and the planet on which they finally settled while they ascended. Now, the caretakers were the creator and the destroyer. Now, they watched over the world as sentient life developed, and after a while, the sentient life came to worship them as god beings. I mean, to anybody from a highly advanced civilization appearing before cavemen, using a lighter is magic, and these beings were omnipotent, nigh omnipotent, and nigh immortal. So they started to worship them as deities. And getting bored, the creator and the destroyer decided to travel to a bit more advanced time. So they created a temporal drive system for Arcadia. And that's the central column you see in the middle of the city. That crystal is what powers its temporal drive. So they set the temporal drive mechanism for the far future from where they were, and disappeared one day from the ancient culture that had developed. Now, this ancient culture obviously built the pyramid as a worshipping platform for the great sky ship that disappeared, the shining city in the sky. And thousands of years later, Arcadia reappeared. As it reappeared, reappeared in the same place over the now ruined pyramid, which was all that was left of the city that had been developed by the ancient culture that would eventually turn into the villagers that we all know today. And of course, the creator and the destroyer were both, interested to see how the world had developed around them. So Arcadia is their ship, it's their city, it's their home, it's their method of travel throughout the universe. And as anything, it should also be able to defend itself. So combining the temporal drive and the spatial drive, they can create a spatial temporal cannon that can remove anything from existence. And let's be honest, if you're going to do something properly, you do it properly. So there we are. So that's the backstory of Arcadia. Now, as you can see, if I fly back up again, Arcadia is split into different zones. The 4 spatial drive pylons around the edge. This quadrant here is devoted to agriculture and farming. So we have crops being grown, we have sheep, we have the new sort of piston powered cow mechanism. Let me just drop back into survival, it's a bit easier to show you how these things work. So, you drop the adult cows down, fire up the water, come round the back, flip open the hatch, feed the cows so they breed. Then, while the babies are still babies, you turn off the water, extend the piston, and extend it. Extend the second piston, and that sucks all the adult cows back up into the top slot and leaves the babies down the bottom so that they can grow up to be adults and then killed for the leather and the meat. So we have 2 of these units, and we have a manual system here as backup, just in case we ever need to resupply these for whatever reason. And there's another growing bank for corn. this building here, which is on the inner ring, is the potion house. So up here, we've got potions on this side and enchanting on the other. It's always handy. Oh, and down below on the underside, we've got a couple of nano farms. So if you need to produce a lot of wheat quickly to do cow breeding, you can do that down here, and it will give you a lot of wheat very fast. The system around the top there feeds the bone meal hoppers, so it's all from one source chest, so you don't have to keep manually loading up the 3 different systems. There we go, so that's the potion house. Over here we have sort of a garden area. This is the home of bunnies. There's plenty of bunnies around here. We love the bunnies. Or there we are. They are. Keep forgetting that they now run off from the players, which is kind of sad. I liked it when they came up and they snuffled around. We also have as much as the groupings down below annoy me, we also have a few tamed skeleton horses for our use up here. There should be 4 of them about here. See if I can find my one. There he is, End of Days. I mean, what else would I call my horse but End of Days? There we go. Good jumper, decent speed, lots of health. Can't go wrong with that. So that's the bunny area. We have skeleton structures set up here for more houses to be built. And a few people said they'd like a guest house here, so that's what's available. Got a couple of completed houses here, sort of ready for people to move into if they wanted to. And a quite nice garden that Void built. A lovely garden with our combined symbol, of course, the Omega and the V from Void for it. So yeah, really picturesque up here. Oh, there's the grape tree, which I'll show you more of in a second. Now this is, well, obviously a purple garden. And my ban hammer. So, funny story behind that. I'm one of Biffa's admins on here, and sometimes when they get obstreperous, I jokingly threaten them with banning if they get out of hand. And one of the times that I was threatening a ban, I accidentally put in the command and I banned one of the players called Muggleray. Did not mean it at all, and she took it in good humour, but I logged in sort of the day after and I found a giant ban hammer on one of the spatial planes, the one out there. So I couldn't tear it down and just get rid of it. So I moved it over to a new location here on the garden where I can see it from my office, which is up in that tower. And I added a bit of personalisation to it, obviously, and put in an Omega and it lit it up. So it's Omega's ban hammer, which I still think is really funny. So these 2 buildings are agriculture buildings. We've got our livestock in here. So there's Void Junior, which is Void's mule, our donkey. This is Void's horse, and that's my horse. Dafukai, which means dark fire, which I think is a really good name for a horse. Yes, I do. I think he's a really brilliant horse. See, he agrees. Yes, he does. He's a clever horse. So that's the stable building. And this building is one of our micro farms. So in here, as you can see, we have Void's chicken dancing pens. We don't talk about why Void has chicken dancing pens. It's just easier. And upstairs is the automated growing systems. Because we don't go through a lot of materials rapidly, we don't need a massive farm system operating to supply us. I mean, even though that's not massive, it still has given us a lot of produce. So we've come down the steps here. You can actually see the storage bins where everything gets funneled into. So even for a slow system, it's doing quite well. So there's all the farm produce. And over here, we have the chicken. So we get two types of chicken. There's the cooked chicken, the raw chicken, and if we ever need them, the feathers. So yeah, so this is the underside of the agricultural building. So, in the inner ring, we have the 4 towers and the temporal drive crystal. And built into the temporal drive system is the portals to take us to the nether. Because obviously a crystal of such power has warped space and time and gives us access to alternate dimensions. The 4 towers here are the Lapis building, which is where my office is. The Redstone building, which is currently guest quarters. As is the Gold building and Void's office up there. And our home, Void and Mines, is at the top of the Emerald Tower. As you can see, within the tower itself, we have what we like to call the Tree of Life, which is a giant tree that sort of symbolises life and continual growth, which is very important. And you can also access our house from inside. So welcome to our little apartment. So this is our sitting room. Got the nice couch here, desk with head, large screen television above our storage unit. Over here is a little breakfast bar, small kitchen. I mean, we don't need anything special. Upstairs is our bedroom, obviously. Nice wardrobe in the corner. Big bed for the pair of us. Fully functioning. And a gorgeous balcony. There's a little workstation there if we ever need it. Nice view of the garden, actually. So that's quite an impressive view there. And here's our little seating area where we can have a morning cup of coffee and look out at the garden. So coming downstairs, we go through this tunnel, and this takes you to my office. So obviously it's this is my armor for when we first fought the dragon. There's a large-scale map of Arcadia, so you can actually see where everything is. Dragon head, obviously. My banner. My puppies. There's that's Liam, Isaac, and Scott. And I've got an enchanting set up here inside my library just in case I need it. A couple of workstations there. Oh, there's the armour that I used to fight the dragon, the 1.9 dragon. Really didn't take long to kill that one, far less time than I expected. Upstairs, because there's a mezzanine floor, of course. I've got a spare set of armour, sword and a bow. First nether star that I got on the server. First thing with a diamond. Little computer here. A few bits and pieces. Map of Arcadia. Oh, the lights are coming on, which is nice. Fully working chair, as you do. So I can sit here, I can administer the server, keep things running, deal with obstreperous pigmen if I need to, and get the day's admin done. Oh, you can see one of the end crystals up there actually, which now adorns the top of each of the towers. Nice little piece to notice. And yep, coming up here, I've got my little seating area for meetings. And there's my banhammer and the purple forest. So, Arcadia at night, obviously. Back through. And Void's office is down here, obviously. Again, similar sort of arrangement that you travel through the glass tubes. And Void's still to set it up when he gets the chance. Just have a quick steak break. So there we go. So that is the accommodation on Arcadia. And to get down, it's quite straightforward. You just stand on top of one of the elevators and it drops you back down to ground level. So this is the first level, or the top level on Arcadia. Now each of these towers has a sub-basement. So if we go down here, you can see the lower level of Arcadia. Now you've already seen our micro farm area. Yes. That's the farming storage area. The micro farms over here. So we've got the two micro farms there. So there's never any waiting for one person to use it. Just got some more space here at the edges. What we'll do is the glass walls that surround them, you can actually get over the edge and look down, which I think is a very nice view. And you can actually walk out to the spatial planes and the spatial drive system. So there's the spatial drive crystals that power the system. And if you come out here and whoop, jump, you can come out onto the actual planes. Now, obviously, the energy that radiates from the plane, the drive system, is spatial energy. So you can walk on top of it, which is quite cool because you get to look down below. And actually going out to the edge here, it's a really good view of Arcadia. And then back in. People keep telling me that it's a health and safety risk, you drop off the edge, but you know, if you know what you're doing, you don't fall off. So the inner core here, that's the growth, excuse me, that's the nutrient fluid to support the growth of the tree of life that's upstairs in the Emerald Tower. So it's a nutrient fluid surrounding the root cluster. and that keeps the tree alive and growing really strong. Over here in the lapis tower, we have all sort of block storage. So there's sand, which obviously we go through quite a lot of, considering how much glass is used here. We've got cobblestone, more cobblestone. Seem to be missing some item frames, which is curious, but anyway. Over here we have the more exotic stones. There's, even though we never use it, we do keep a little bit of granite on hand. Andesite, and obviously diorite gets much used around here, so we keep plenty of that on hand. There's stones from the end, stone from the Guardian farms, and blocks from the Nether. Again, it's handy just to have everything on hand for building purposes. Over here in the redstone tower, we have a mini smelter set up. That's just to keep us, if we need something done quickly, like cooking off some bricks or some food, we can throw it through the mini smelter. And in the gold tower is where we keep all the woods, leaves, glass, mob drops, and redstone foods, as well as specific things like metals and gems, compressed ice, obsidian, coal, that sort of thing. So, there's Wallace, just to say hello. So everything's all nicely laid out and it's quite easy to find. And on the final level, you see each of the levels going down gets progressively smaller. So these are the bottom of the towers. And these are expansion to allow storage to grow down if we need to add more storage in. And down below us is the bottom of Arcadia. You can see the bottom of the crystal over the Aztec pyramid. Now if we come up to the end here, crouching obviously, you can drop all the way down from the portals right through into the end. So if we ever need to go to the end to do some mending or to get some ender pearls, it's just a drop down to get there. Very handy. So I was sort of responsible for building the main superstructure and for building the sort of large scale details like the towers and the planes and the drive systems. And Void worked on the housing around the inner core here. He built all these buildings, which obviously you can tell are Void Fordian designs. He also worked on the 2 gardens that we have. Did really impressive detail work on the city, as well as detail work on the core, like the subway stations here. So between the 2 of us, we work really well together in setting up the Arcadia city. Now, down below we have our through the nether portal here. We have access to a super smelter that Void built, as well as a mini XP farm if we ever need it. Back through here. So this is our mines. So this portal gives us access to our mining as well. And through here we have the spider farm, which is in darkness at the moment, but the little buggers sort of spawn in there, get flushed through, pushed up, and they come down here, and because of drown damage, they're 1-hit kills by the time they get here. Over here is the super smelter. So you put your items to smelt there. Any fuel that you need to add it in. You can see it's an impressively large array of furnaces here, and the output comes down here into this chest. And as you can see, we've got plenty of glass that was on the last load of things that I put through. Oh, there's the spiders, so you just kill them off. Gives us some XP, also plenty of string and spider eyes, which is very handy. Okay, so there we go. So this is Void and Mai's base. This is Arcadia. Just run back up the stairs here. I've got to say, I think this is one of our best builds ever. I'll just put myself into spectator. I have one final fly round. And you can see the city. I've got to say, I think, as I said, this is one of our most impressive builds today. One that I'm really, really proud of. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching, and thank you for sticking with it if you have through to the end of the video. Much appreciated. If you like it, stick a thumbs up if you want to. I much appreciate that. And thank you all for watching once more. Catch you soon. Bye now.